Thank you very much. I just want to say before we begin, these are all Biden trials. This is done as election interference. Everybody knows it. I'm here instead of being able to be in Pennsylvania and Georgia and lots of other places campaigning. And it's very unfair. Fortunately, the poll numbers are very good. They've been going up because people understand what's going on. This is a witch hunt, and it's a shame. And it comes out of Washington. It's in coordination with Washington, everything, including the DA's office. It's in coordination with Washington. I just want people to understand that this is done for purposes of hurting the opponent of the worst president in the history of our country. Second of all, we have another trial going on right now. That's Letitia James. She campaigned on the fact that I will get Trump. I'm going to get Trump. And it has to do with a bond of $175 million. First of all, she doesn't want me to participate with financial companies in New York. So we have a company, I guess, based in California. It's a bonding company. And I put up $175 million in cash. But she says the bonding company's not good. She doesn't like the bonding company because she doesn't know if the collateral is good. And I put up $175 million in cash, and she's questioning the bonding company. Well, when you put up cash, and the number is 175, which is what we're supposed to be putting up, but I give it in cash, she shouldn't be complaining about the bonding company. The bonding company would be good for it because I put up the money. And I have plenty of money to put up, but nobody is going to be putting up with this. Nobody is going to be listening or coming to New York anymore. Businesses are going to be fleeing because people are treated so badly. It's got to be the most unfriendly place to do business, and that's why businesses are leaving and people are leaving as migrants come in and take over our parks and our schools and everything else. So on the Letitia James case, she's the worst attorney general in the country, by the way. On Letitia, and she keeps a lot of business out of New York, and businesses that are here are leaving. And that means jobs and a lot of revenue. Somebody's going to step in, the governor, or somebody has to step in and do something because your businesses are fleeing. But on Letitia James, the money was put up, it's $175 million. And I don't think she's complaining about me for the first time ever. She's complaining about the company. But why would she be doing that when I put up the money? So I just want you to know that that's taking place in front of an extremely crazed judge who's the most overturned judge in New York State. He was overturned 4 or 5 times on that case alone. That's, you know who it is. I don't have to mention names. I want to be nice. I want to be very nice. But a thing like that, and a thing like what's going on right here should never be happening. It's a very, very sad day in America. I can tell you that. Thank you very much.
Moments ago, former President Trump arriving to the New York State Supreme Court for opening statements in his New York, quote-unquote, hush money trial.
Yes, and in this New York civil fraud, New York Attorney General Letitia James is now arguing that the $175 million bond that Trump put up is insufficient and should be thrown out.
Lydia Hugh is outside of the New York State Supreme Court with the latest for us. Lydia?
Yeah, good morning there, guys. Lawyers with the New York Attorney General's office question whether the insurance company that is underwriting this $175 million bond could actually pay it if they had to. Those lawyers writing this: Knight Specialty Insurance Company is a small insurer that is not authorized to write business in New York and thus not regulated by the state's insurance department, had never before written a surety bond in New York or in the prior 2 years in any other jurisdiction, and has a total policyholder surplus of just $138 million, which of course is less than $175 million needed. Another issue these lawyers raise with the Attorney General's office is who has access to the collateral Trump posted to secure the bond. Executives with Knight Specialty say the former president put up cash in a Schwab brokerage account, but the AG says Trump still has access to the account. They say that means it's not secure. Now, the CEO of Knight Insurance Company, Don Hankey, has previously told me he is sure he has the collateral for this bond. Now, of course, you may recall an appeals court previously reduced the amount of the bond to $175 million from roughly $464 million. That was a move legal experts say suggests appellate judges may be sympathetic to Trump's appeal on the merits, but deciding today's issue is Judge Arthur Engoron, who, of course, entered the near $500 million judgment against the former president. So we'll see whether he decides to invalidate invalidate this bond today. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Lydia.
Pecker, when he takes the stand, is expected to outline the so-called catch and kill scheme that prosecutors say was cooked up with Trump, running for president at the time, and his longtime lawyer Michael Cohen. The tabloid's owner, AMI, has admitted it did try to influence the 2016 presidential election by paying former Playmate Karen McDougal $150,000 to keep the story of her alleged affair with Trump under wraps during the campaign. That, on top of the $130,000 Michael Cohen says he paid Stormy Daniels to keep her alleged affair quiet with Trump. Well, DA Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg says Trump reimbursed his former friend and fixer, illegally claiming that payments were for Cohen's legal fees.
The grand jury found there were 34 documents with this critical false statement. Why did Donald Trump repeatedly make these false statements? The evidence will show that he did so to cover up crimes relating to the 2016 election.
But the former president and defendant has been harshly criticizing the case. He says he left everything to his accountants because he was busy being president when he started signing those checks in February of 2017, just a few weeks after his inauguration.
I was paying a lawyer and marked it down as a legal expense. Some accountant, I didn't know, marked it down as a legal expense. That's exactly what it was. And you get indicted over that?
The trial is beginning now. The president came in, did not make any comments when he arrived at the courthouse. If he does comment on what David Pecker says, it would be a violation of the gag order. Under that gag order that he has strongly protested, he is not allowed to comment about any of the witnesses in this case. That includes his friend, David Pecker. Martha, back to you.
Okay, Eric, thank you very much.
And Andy McCarthy is a former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. So I want to ask you about opening statements and also this. Eric Shawn just mentioned David Pecker. He will be the first witness. And the New York Times reporting that Pecker, who ran the company that owned the National Enquirer, is set to go first and is expected to recount for the jury several conversations with Mr. Trump about the hush money. And that's according to a person familiar with the plan. How do you see this shaping up as opening statements get underway today? Andy?
I think the problem here is that we have a legal dispute. I don't think there's going to be much dispute about what actually factually happened. But what I was struck when you played that clip from Alvin Bragg is that he says that Trump made these book entries, which he claims were false, in order to cover up crimes leading up to the 2016 election. If Trump committed crimes leading up to the 2016 election, why didn't Bragg just charge him with those? Mm-hmm. The reason that we keep calling this the hush money trial is they don't have a crime. You know, if Trump had robbed a bank, we would call it his bank robbery trial. Mm-hmm. If he had shot someone on Fifth Avenue, like he famously said back in 2015, 2016, they would charge him with that. We keep calling this the hush money trial because they don't have a crime for what they say he did. Bragg, in essence, accuses Trump of stealing the 2016 election and suppressing politically damaging information. It's not a crime to suppress politically damaging information. And if he could charge Trump with stealing the 2016 election, he'd have charged him with that. Instead, he's charged 34 crimes he alleges were committed in 2017, which he's trying to convince people somehow stole the 2016 election, as if you could actually do things in 2017 to steal something that happened in 2016. Right. So I really think it's more of a legal dispute than a factual one.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
It's not about justice, it's not about agenda, it's not about mobilizing people, it's about dialing for corporate dollars. These two parties have sold the U.S. government and the American people to the highest bidders.